All right, welcome in.
Hey y'all.
How's everybody doing?
I feel like every week that I come on here and talk to y'all, my voice is always like raspy. I actually had a kid tell me in session that I had a very raspy voice. And I'm like, first off, it's because I'm talking all week, all day, every day, all week. And then I come and spend my Sundays talking even more. So forgive me, but I got my good water today with my TLC stickers. Hopefully, some of you guys should be getting those in the mail the next day or so, hopefully, and you can tag us with those stickers, please and thank you.
All right, we'll give a couple more minutes. How's everybody week going so far? Today I went to go hoop, so I'm a little exhausted. I won't lie to you guys.
So, what are we talking about? Pull it up because I really don't know today. I thought we were going to be talking about something else. However, I think plans got switched on me here.
Well, I mean, I think the plan switched itself. Going great.
Good to hear you having a good week.
My mom was out in
Tennessee.
Tennessee. You only 10 IC. Do that joke. Are you from Tennessee? Why? Because you're only 10 IC. All right, so we're going to try to make this sweet, short, simple, straight to the point.
Well, I feel like maybe give a few more minutes.
A few more minutes.
Yeah, just so some other people can hop in here. It looks like we got a little bit of a slow start. But
yeah, if you guys are watching, a few people that's watching right now, please share the video.
Yes.
Tag it on your page. Share it. We would greatly appreciate it.
If you need the link, I can definitely send it to you. But we appreciate y'all for coming in. I know we are actually, I think we were right on time today.
1 minute.
Like down to the seconds.
1 minute late. We were 1 minute late.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were right on time.
Wow.
But yeah, thank y'all for joining. We see a few more of y'all coming in. So I guess we can go ahead and post what we're talking about today. I'm pretty curious here.
All right. So we'll get straight into it, man. Like, again, we'll try to make this short, sweet, simple, and straight to the point. Some stuff happened this last week. What's up, Jay? Hey, Deja.
Hey, y'all.
I don't know. Last week, Deja, you weren't on my side. I don't know if I want you back in here, man. Normally you have my back. Last week you were a little rough on me. I ain't gonna lie. But we're gonna try to make this short, sweet, simple, and straight to the point. This week we saw a couple things that happened on social media that we kind of wanted to discuss. Me and Stone. Stone is our executive producer of the show, and or producer. I'm not sure the title roles anyway, but he produces the show and helps us out with everything to make sure everything runs as smooth and simple as possible. And some stuff happened last week that I feel like is topic worthy. So we'll get straight into it.
I do that all the time, y'all.
Is it a reason why we don't just look at the comments here?
So I tell y'all every time it doesn't pull up their name. So a lot of times people are commenting on my end. And so I like to be able to know because I can see the other people that are coming in. I can see them on here. So it just makes it a little bit easier.
For sure. So we're going to try to keep this simple, short, sweet, straight to the point. So we're going to get straight to our first question. Last week we saw some controversial questions about relationships and changes in relationships and what that looks like. And at what point do you feel like sometimes too much is too much and not enough is not enough? As far as changing a relationship, do you ever feel like, Kristen, this is a question for you. Do you ever feel like there's a situation in which something is big enough to call a relationship off, some type of change? Do you feel like there's a certain change that's big enough between me as a person, individual? Do you feel like it's big enough to call a relationship off? Anything you can think of?
I feel like call it off. If it's not moving you, just call it off. I don't think it has to be anything big or small. Just call it off. If you're not feeling moved, or
then we got one of those memes like she's for the streets. I wish we had one.
Something big enough. I mean, I think.
So if
I think a baby for me is like pretty big. If somebody had a baby on me, just because I feel like, I don't know. I just don't know how I would, I want to interact
Thank you, Mom.
with
Wow.
a kid.
I can't believe it, right?
I feel like I want to, I just wouldn't want to act weird towards a kid.
Let's bring up a couple topics. If I was to relocate and I was working remotely from a different
call it off.
Okay.
Just kidding. Yeah.
Okay. No. Let's keep it real.
No, not a relocation. That's simple. If it was long-term relocation.
Long-term, I was a 2-year, 3-year contract. I just got paid $300,000 to relocate to do 9 months a year or 10 months a year in Japan to open up some company that, top spot Fortune 500.
Well, that's not really long-term for me. I was thinking 5+ years. I think 2 years. 2 years, I feel like that goes by really quick. And I think if it makes sense, like if it's going to propel the family to a whole nother level, 300,000, someone put 300,000. Yeah, that's going to take you, because you can do a lot with that. So I think $300,000 is worth 2 years, personally.
That's my 300,000. What does that mean?
Because that's not just 300,000. That's now $600,000. You know what I mean? Because you're getting $300,000 per year.
I got
I feel like absolutely it's worth it for me.
Okay, so if I'm making 40,000 right now and it's a job for 100,000, do you feel like would you still be on that same energy as far as? That's a big change. A lot of guys had that happen, right? They do the oil rigs, or they're doing some type of pharmaceutical sales where they're not at home as much. How do you would you be okay with that as long as
I think it has to be a substantial increase for my household. It has to be able to take you to a whole
from $40,000 to $100,000 is a substantial increase. That's 2 times.
I guess my mind is not computing it because I'm you know what I mean? $100,000.
I mean, $100,000.
I'm not saying it like that, but I think
that's what you said. It's not substantial.
No,
there's a lot of people out there not making $100,000 a year.
Yeah, no, I know that. I get that. I'm saying for me, it would need to be more substantial than that.
Okay, what's your definition of substantial?
$300,000.
Why $300,000?
Because I feel like that throws my life into. It just has to make sense. You need to go from
$40,000 to $300,000 for you to feel like it's okay to move. I'll be okay, but we need to have an agreement and understanding. Okay, thank you.
I think it just has to be something where we're doing generational changes. If we go from 40, 45 to 100, we're not doing anything generational at that point. You know what I mean? We're just changing. We're not so stressed about bills and stuff anymore, but it's not generational to me. I feel like
do y'all hear what I'm hearing?
Amount.
I mean, honestly, though, I'm just being honest, though, because people are making money.
I hope you're being honest.
No, I am. But I think people are making money where it's not breaking generational curses or changing generations right now when people are still putting up with certain situations.
I know, but you asked me. I'm telling you, in order for me to be able to compromise, my family being divided like that, it has to be a great enough cost. For me, $40,000.
So if you leave, if you feel like it's worth it.
Well, who is he? You?
Well, yeah, I guess me in this situation. So if I leave, because I feel like it's worth it. I'm making $125,000. Last year I made $40,000. I got a job offer to open up a franchise somewhere else. Unfortunately, it's going to take a lot of my time. And I decided to leave. You're going to leave me because I did that?
If it's long term, I'm not going to leave you. I'm going to tell you that this is no longer serving me. It's not making me happy for you to be gone somewhere for 5-6 years, something long term, right? And I'm going to say this isn't healthy for us. And then you have to make a decision. You're the leader of the household, so you got to make a decision.
Okay.
No, it's not an ultimatum. It's communication. I think that's the problem with relationships, though.
Right.
I think people have to be openly expressing when something is not serving them, because when you start to stifle that and keep that in, then you run into all of these issues. So I think it's my responsibility to tell you, hey, this is really strange.
I'm being honest. If I was making 2 times what I'm making now and you felt like it was no longer serving you, I would be okay with that because I feel like you're holding me back. You know what I mean? I'll be like, it's okay because I feel like you're holding me back from growth. You want to be, if I could make $100,000 here and I made $40,000 last year and you're saying, okay, we'll just stay here because it's not enough money. And I would probably be like, okay,
we're saying for $100,000 a year, right? that I have to be okay. You're saying like be okay with your husband being gone and you raising the household for
Well,
five,
for me and
6
you, we ain't got no
years.
kid. I know household you got is you.
Well,
You rushing your
I'm
own
talking about
car.
if we were a family. We've done this before. You've left the state to go somewhere else.
I
So
know, baby.
that's
That's
not
for
a
like
problem.
6 months, 5 months, 4
But
months.
we didn't expect that. You were expecting that was going to be something longer term.
Because it was substantial enough and you felt like it was okay.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is if I had a kid and I was raising kids,
with
I'm not packing. Well, if I could go, if I could go, then I go. But we're not talking about that. Y'all are saying, you said, would you be okay with your significant other?
Leave her, okay? If she's holding you back like this and she says, listen, as long as the money is, I feel like the money is doing, I feel like the money is not enough money to change generations, even though your circumstance right now in present time is not the best and only making, and there's nothing wrong with making, I don't want to make anybody feel bad. There's nothing wrong with making 20, 30, 40,000. But if you have an opportunity to make $150,000
for long termness, 6, 7 years and you're raising a kid, I'm sorry, then the money is not really.
Okay. How much is $40,000 a year?
We keep getting caught up on the money.
Because you said it has to be substantial. That's the reason why. Right. So that's the reason why we're talking about the money. $40,000 a year is $3,300 per month, right?
Okay.
$100,000 a year is $8,300. So I automatically get an extra $5,000. I'm almost automatically doubling what I bring in.
$100,000 is how much?
$8,300. $8,300 a month.
Okay.
Right. I'm pretty sure 8333. Let's make sure. Yeah, 8333, right?
Mm-hmm.
So $8,300 a month from $3,300 a month. That's a $5,000 in surplus. And you saying that could not substantially make a difference in the household? That's substantial.
It is, right?
Most people have a raise per year or even at their job for maybe 1%, 2%, 3%, and that's per year. So even if they're making $80,000, they're not going up to $100,000 the next year. They're going up to like $82,000.
Understood. So for me, I think, and this is just me, everybody's going to disagree, so get somebody else in here. I'm not willing to have my kids miss out on being raised in a household with 2 parents for 6, 7, 8 years, whatever is long term. I'm not willing to compromise.
So let's bring in the situation we're talking about. So the situation we're talking about right now, even though we're talking about change in a relationship, doesn't automatically equate to leaving or divorcing or like Crystal said, figuring out if it's no longer serving you. There's a situation with a lady, and I believe she lost 150 pounds. And once she lost 150 pounds, she felt like she was a better catch than her husband. So she then cheated on her husband and left him. Okay. Really quick, before we ask your opinion, hey Stone, do me a favor. If we can pull in the clip just so I could get a better understanding of this situation, let you guys see the better understanding of it. But she basically lost weight and she cheated on her husband because she lost weight. She felt better about herself. She felt more secure in herself. She felt more sexy or beautiful or whatever, and she felt like her husband wasn't that person for her anymore.
Well, I would like to hear what she said.
Okay. Hey, Stone, if you can, man, let's bring in a clip really quick because I'm kind of curious.
You're married, have a kid, a happy home, and then you work on yourself, lose over 100 pounds, and become unrecognizable, both inside and out. You hang out more and ultimately step out on your marriage. There's hurt, pain, and a divorce. You live life with regret, but your story isn't finished.
What I thought at the time was love, I had never felt that before, ever. I have never felt so more desired in my life, ever.
Was sleeping with your husband difficult?
She said very.
Did she say she didn't feel desired in her relationship before?
She said she never felt more desired. And Stone, get another clip ready. Let's talk about, because when I heard the clip, let's talk about when she said her husband was perfect. He adored her.
This is completely different from a man leaving to make money, though. But okay,
just changes. We're just talking about changes the relationship, something that you didn't sign up for, something that now changes the relationship, in which that it caused some type of turmoil or some type of disagreement or whatever difficulties in your relationship. But Stone, and while you're listening, man, do me a favor, pull up the part where she says, "Listen, the husband desired me. He treated me like a queen. He adored me. All of that stuff." Just to give a little bit more backstory to the context of this situation. But how do you feel about this?
I just want to see the other part first.
Okay, how do y'all feel about this there? About this lady? I don't want to say girl, but how do y'all feel about this lady? Do y'all feel like does it matter? What is?
Well, I think she shouldn't have waited. But is she saying that she wasn't treated right in her relationship before
No, I'm saying
she lost the weight?
No, I'm saying that just said that she basically is saying that he adored her before.
Okay.
She hasn't felt that sexy ever in her life.
But her husband was catering to her, making her feel special the way she was. Yeah, she's out of pocket.
How do y'all feel about this? It's more to
That's what I'm saying. I want to see the rest of it.
First of all, Deja, before you do that, did you even watch
and I
the
mean,
clip?
give Deja a break because she agreed with you on the last one. So give her a break right now. I think I agree with her, though. I think it's more to that.
Well, it's an interview style. So, I mean,
that's what I'm thinking. I know we're getting everything up. I think, like, I don't know.
And that's a good question.
She's
so Stone
wrong
just said,
if he was really treating her right.
If it was a man, would it have to be more to it? If a man lost weight, and when he lost weight, he cheated on his wife, would it have to be more to it? Would you say, okay, but why? You know what I mean? Would you be like, or would you say he's automatically he's wrong?
No, I think I want to see the whole interview. I haven't seen any of this. I always like to rabbit hole everything.
Because I only wanted the other guy.
Wow. I'm obviously not yours and you're not mine.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't
he was mine. He was mine. I'm sorry, honey. He was mine.
How did your husband find out?
I confessed. I couldn't sleep. My conscience was eating me alive and I was exhausted. I was ready to leave my baby, leave my family. This was nice. I love y'all. I see y'all on the weekend. I wanted to be with him at all costs.
Okay, so I'm going to say this. She's wrong for leaving. I was thinking that maybe it was something where he wasn't treating her right, or maybe he was like, not really pouring into this woman. Whether it's a man or a woman, if you're not treating your significant other how they deserve to be treated, there's never an excuse for cheating. I thought she left too, so I'm gonna just say that.
I know, but
she's wrong.
I expressed to you guys that the husband treated her well, and you guys said it's still more to it. That you want to hear the whole story.
I just don't. I just feel like last time
you don't believe me.
Yeah, so I was just wanting to hear it for myself.
All right.
So I just was like, she's wrong. There's no way around it. But what I will say, on the opposite side, he needs to just leave her. Because do you want to be in a relationship with somebody who's saying like they aren't really happy and they aren't feeling desired?
She didn't tell him that though. He said if you listen to the interview, and we'll post it if you guys want, and inside the inside the Facebook group, where you guys can listen to the video. But it's a long interview. It's about 10, 12. I think it's about 30 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. He supported her through her weight loss journey. They were both bigger people when they met. When they met, and she said one day she just kind of got over it and wanted to lose weight and went on this journey to lose weight, and he supported her the whole way, and she felt like he kissed the ground she walked on, and he left her. I know, but why? Unfortunately, why do we have to say what's more to the story to know if
relationships are not about holding on to each other amongst life's changes? Not everyone is going to make it. Sometimes you outgrow your partner. Sometimes it's money, interest, friends, maturity. Mutually, you got to be in it for the long haul. Not everyone makes it. Agree. And that's what I'm saying. We can criticize her and say she's wrong. We obviously understand that. But for me, I want somebody to just tell me, like, I don't want to be with you anymore, versus you just sitting on there cheating on me and being unhappy anyway.
But that's the reason why it's a problem, because she cheated on her husband.
She should have told him that.
It's not because it's not because she lost weight and she broke up with him or divorced him because she was no longer happy. The problem is she cheated on her husband. And that's the problem. So even if and this is for Jason, even if you outgrow somebody, even if interests change and money change and friends and maturity and all that other stuff, then at that point, you still, if you're mature about it, then you're going to say, okay, this is no longer serving me.
She should have said that. Absolutely.
it's over.
My name
There's
is
nothing
Chris
here that
Styles,
we
is
need.
Trapping Anonymous. Welcome back, welcome back. Thank you for everybody that has been subscribing, supporting, and just sharing our content. I feel like lately we've really been blowing up,
And things were good. We had a baby. Things were good until they weren't.
And why weren't they?
Well, before when we met, I was 130 pounds heavier. So I lost 130 pounds and kind of lost my mind, so to speak.
But you lost 130 pounds in the relationship?
In the relationship. When we got married, I was 320 pounds at my heaviest. And yeah, lost the weight and kind of went south.
Was this the first time that you ever been slimmer and like?
Yes. All my life, I've been a fat girl. So this was the first time that I actually got to be the it girl, so to speak, you know.
And what about your husband?
What about him? You mean like?
Weight-wise, was he?
Oh, well, he was a bigger guy, but it wasn't too crazy at the time. He was a bigger guy, but he loved me big. He never complained. He always complimented me, treated me like I was beautiful, but I didn't feel beautiful. So I went ahead with the weight loss.
There's a narrative about big women, right? One of the narratives that I hear is that big women know how to treat a man, right? It's just sort of because, I don't know, like maybe the world isn't at their feet.
Wow, that's tough. I'm sorry. For me, that's
I've
tough.
never understood a woman. I mean, not a man either, but that's tough. She said, skip the babies.
That's I don't know, man. I don't know.
She's definitely not wrong for not, if she was in a low
What?
spot.
Wait, hold on. What my mama talking about? I'm leaving my kids and the dog. Mom, back up. Back up.
I feel like for me, she's definitely not wrong, right? If she had the weight loss and she started feeling healthier and better about herself, because we're just going to be real, right? We're all humans. With that type of process and to lose that much weight, you are going to feel substantially different, right? Like even with my kilo pounds, I feel in a different space.
Sure.
So she's not wrong for saying like, maybe I outgrew this relationship in this transition, or I realized I was only functioning out of like some form of trauma connection with this, right? Like I'm in a negative space. He's making me feel good. He's doing all of these things. So it's serving me in this state. However, as I got healthier, I realized he can't meet my needs how I need him to meet it. She should have said that this, but
She's
that's
for
fair
the
to,
streets.
but I'm just saying though, is it fair to him to be like, hey, this is not serving me anymore? I think that you have to make a decision on like if you want to move forward with me. She does need to communicate that to him.
You don't. That's not what you say. You say, I'm no longer interested in this relationship. I'm moving on from you.
Or whatever,
That's what
however
mature
you
people
want to
do.
put it. What I'm saying though is she should have told him,
For the streets.
this is not for me, right? She's not wrong for not wanting to be in it, but
she's wrong flat out. Who said they would leave their baby?
we're not talking about babies though, her husband, because you can still, she's wrong for saying that, but I'm just saying if she would have done it the right way and
How are you
said,
on this woman's side?
I'm not on her side. What I'm saying is I'm being realistic though. If you're not happy in something, you have a responsibility to tell that person.
So what I think it is, first of all, again, I think all of this stuff boils down to insecurity, right? But besides being healthy, weight loss, a lot of times weight loss, we think about what it looks like and not
how you feel is what I'm kind of focused on.
Well, the healthiness. I think you should still feel good about yourself, even if you are a bigger woman, even if you are a bigger man, even if your hair isn't as long, even if your skin is a little bit darker, even if your teeth aren't straight.
You should, but is that the reality all the time? Because it plays on your mental, like when you're sluggish.
But again, I think that helps with self-care. I think that's self-care though. I think you take your time and you figure out why do you feel a certain way and you try to change it from the inside out. And once you change the inside, then you try to match the outside with how you feel on the inside. I think the problem a lot of people do is they change the outside and try to match the outside to their inside instead of vice versa. Because if she felt good about herself from the beginning, then she would have known from the beginning that this is not who I want to be with. This is not someone who I feel like serves me, like you said, or this is not someone I feel like I can be in love with forever. I think it's insecurity. So I think that, yes, it does suck. However, I feel like if she was truly secure about who she was, regardless of her weight, and let social media and the way of Western society dictate how she feels about herself, then we wouldn't have got here.
I agree that it definitely is insecurities, but I think every human is going to have some form of an insecurity. So when I think about the health, you do feel better. I think that's just real. Like, we can try to say what people need to be doing, but the bottom line is everybody has an insecurity. That's why we as Americans buy into trends, we buy into fads, we go to the gym, we do all these things, right? So we got to focus on that part. That is just human nature. You're putting an expectation.
It's not human nature.
It's conditioned nature.
Correct.
So I'll go with that. It's conditioned nature. So it is what it is where we are.
Don't see the same beauty standards that we have for people is not another society. So it's not a
but
humanistic nature.
They might not have our beauty standards, but they have different ones. Can we say that? Like,
correct,
they have their own standards.
But it's not based on what you look like. It's based on who you are.
Okay.
That's the difference.
So we're just focused on Americans, though. We're here.
Correct.
We're insecure, whether it's been conditioned or not, right? And so because it is conditioned, all I'm saying is not that she's right, because we keep going back to her saying, like, the babies. We understand that the babies, I'm not saying her leaving her babies is okay. What I'm saying is not that it's okay for her to up and leave him. What I'm saying, though, it is the responsible thing to do, because then it leads to the things that she's doing now, cheating, because she's not saying, hey, for whatever reason, I don't want to be here anymore. That's my argument. She should have just said, I don't want to be here. We can fault her all day on why she doesn't want to be, but she doesn't want to be in it. So it leads to cheating and lying and different things like that. She should have just told that man, like, hey, I done lost some weight. I'm feeling myself. You don't rock my boat anymore. I'm going to go ahead and walk away. We can co-parent. That would have been the responsible way. And she got to deal with her karma for doing that to that man, right?
Right now, she's still single.
So she got to deal with her karma.
Reality
she has to deal with her karma.
Absolutely.
So where did it go wrong? When you lost that weight, you looked in the mirror and then you were just like, hold on. Do you think that he could have married that girl that lost 130 pounds?
Honestly, probably not.
Yeah, I knew.
Or that he would even want to?
I look pretty amazing, so he probably would have wanted to, but I don't think he could have. Now thinking back, I don't think so. Yeah.
Do you think that he felt that when he looked at you?
I think that he felt betrayal. How could you do this and I met you at this weight? How could you lose this weight and just totally change when I met you at this weight?
You think that he felt betrayal?
I think that he did, because he supported me. He was there for me when I was 320 pounds. But then when I lost the weight, I was different. My behaviors were different.
What do you mean?
I dressed differently. I wore more fitting clothes. I started to go out a lot more with my girlfriends, more than ever. I started getting a lot of attention, a lot more attention from men. And I didn't know how to handle it.
That's what she's feeling herself.
But again,
wrong.
No,
but what do we expect?
No. So again, I think we're not going to the root of the problem, and that's
the insecurities. We've already acknowledged that.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. What's the root?
Anything else,
What's the root?
What you tell me? You said you know everything. What you
tell me? Again, what I'm saying is, Melody, I definitely agree with you. She's wrong. But it is her obligation to tell him, because realistically, y'all, if somebody was feeling themselves all of a sudden, right, and they felt like you no longer measured up to what they want. I saw somebody say, oh, they should have done therapy or something, right? Do you feel like, I don't know, for me, I feel like if something like you losing weight could get you to switch up on me, I don't want to work anything out with you, because what happens when the next hurdle is jumped over for you in your life? Are you going to switch up on me again? I just feel like, I don't know. I think he deserves more than being with somebody who is switching up on him.
I think it's the same thing when you ask why men, they'll go with a woman when they're broke, and then as soon as they get money, they divorce their lady and get a bad one, is because of the same situation, right?
Communication is just key, because you can't make people
his attention,
do anything.
His feedback with women is a lot different, because he's driving a Mercedes, he's driving a BMW, the Maserati, or whatever. And I kind of feel for him now. I'm kind of saying, like, do you? Because if you got women out here just saying, this guy did everything right,
Yeah.
The only reason why I got it out because I got more attention than I was used to. Like, I'm sorry, you're immature just because you're getting attention.
But to me, it sounds like she was honestly with him for the wrong. I'm just being honest. Like, was she ever really even with him because she felt like this was the man she would have picked? Or did she only feel like that was who she could get? That's what I'm saying. He needs to be like sayonara. Ain't no working anything out. You get your kids 50%, I get my kids 50%, you go your way.
So, fellas, once your bag is up,
yeah,
it is okay to leave
she
your girl.
needs to, I wouldn't even want a woman like that. No,
based off this, it is okay to leave whoever was up with you riding while you were down and changing tires and all that.
Absolutely. If you are not if that person is not serving you and you feel like you are having temptation with other people, you need to communicate that person and y'all need to make a decision on what that relationship needs to look like. Because if you don't and you're not honest with yourself and you're not honest with your person, you're going to be like her. You're going to be cheating anyways. And then still end up single.
Yeah. So get your bag
I think
up,
communication.
Fellas. All right, really quick. We're going to see if somebody want to hop in. I just want to see what y'all take is on this 480-509-8958 text tea time.
I agree. Melody, yeah, she just couldn't get any attention from anybody else. And I'm not saying she couldn't. She just wasn't.
Exactly. It's ego. And that's what a lot of times, that's what happens, though, guys. It's like, and that's what I be saying. It's nothing wrong with wanting to feel better and feel good about yourself, but it's like, why are you feeling that way? Like, what's the real root of the problem?
So I have a question for y'all, and y'all can come in if y'all want to, or y'all can just type in here. In this situation, right? If this were you and your significant other went through this change and, they were feeling themselves and they were feeling kind of how she is, would you guys want them to not tell you that they're unhappy or that they're going through these changes and feeling like they're smelling themselves? Or would you want them to communicate that to you? Because I think that's my argument. So if you're in this situation, do you feel like she shouldn't tell him that she's feeling different, or do you feel like she should?
I think she should get out the relationship. I don't think you should tell him that you're feeling different. I don't think it's anything to salvage, like you said. I don't think it's anything to salvage.
I don't think so at all.
So I would be like, hey, listen, unfortunately, I've changed.
She got a text from her husband, but she wanted attention from others. Not your husband, right?
What are you talking about, Mom? Well, she wanted attention from others. I don't know. Text tea time, 480-509-8958.
Yeah.
If I can bring somebody in really quick before we go to the next question.
Oh, she wanted attention.
I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. You saying like she was getting the attention. I don't know.
She can go bye-bye, boo-boo.
Bye-bye, boo-boo.
Yeah. Thank you, Crystal. Cousin Crystal, I appreciate it.
She said she was ready to leave her kids. You weren't going to be a mother at all?
She's a low-down woman.
Were like, what was you doing?
I ain't trying to be funny. She gained some weight back.
Nah, she'll be bigger. Okay, now y'all.
I'm not trying to be funny. That picture she put up, the last picture.
Hey, Jazz. Thank you for tapping in with us.
I don't know. That last picture she put up looked like
she does need therapy. I'm not going to lie. I'm a really big advocate for therapy. But my issue is, Mel, that even if she goes through therapy, I think that he deserves better because I don't ever think that she was with him for who he is.
And her therapy doesn't need to be relationship therapy.
Yeah, it needs to be individual therapy. I don't think I don't think he deserves to be
T,
with
hop on?
Want
to hop on?
She does look bigger. What?
T, if you can hop on, 480-509-8958. I'll send you guys some link. Anybody want to hop on really quick before we move to the next segment? Try to make it short and sweet tonight.
Deja, we're not gonna let you on because we probably shouldn't let T on because she's upset.
Yeah, that's what we want. That's what we want. Hey, say how you really feel.
So I want to put this out here, guys. I'm never condoning, right, that she did this. What I am saying though is,
what y'all think?
I think it is right for her to have told him and walked away because I don't think that she should have stayed in that marriage. I think if it wasn't this, she was always gonna end up cheating.
But she needs to correct.
She does, absolutely, because she needs to know if she doesn't get the help, she's just going to continue this cycle in whatever relationship she's in. Because what happens when you lose another 50 pounds and you start feeling better? What happens when you get abs, and you start getting cut? That probably takes you to a whole nother level of,
Well, it was exciting because it was a secret. Mm-hmm. But when I came home, I loathed coming home. I did not want to come home. I wanted to be in that excitement, that euphoria forever. I hated coming home. So it was hard. I lived a double life. I was a different person at work and with him, and I was a different person at home with my baby and with my ex-husband. It was hard. It was very exhausting, but it was so exciting and enchanting, and I did not want to stop. It became an addiction.
Was sleeping with your husband difficult?
Very.
Why?
Because I only wanted the other guy. Wow. I was so in love. I thought I was in love. I was, you know, my random, crazy, mixed up depiction of love. That's what I felt at the time. And I didn't want anybody but him.
Bad.
Nobody.
And at this time, is this other guy married?
He was. I didn't know at the time. I just thought he had a living girlfriend, but it turns out that was his wife.
What?
Yeah.
No, you knew
Did
he
you
was.
find it easier to cheat with somebody that was with somebody? Or did you not care? You was just so enamored by this one individual?
Well, I didn't care. I was so enamored. It wasn't his wife, so I thought I was okay. I'm like, whatever, it's just your baby mama, who cares? But I was a little jealous because there were times I wanted to be with him and I couldn't because he had someone else. I had way more freedom then.
And she's wrong altogether, but I mean, it shows you though, again, she has like some deep rooted issues, right? And so again, I think we are past the point of her trying to resolve anything with her husband. She needs to be alone right now.
She's for the. I wish we had the memes. Next week we need memes. We need Future saying she's for the streets. We need that meme and throw it up and blast it everywhere we possibly can. Like,
I mean, for real, the abs, because let her get some abs. I'm scared to see who this woman is going to become.
Like, what are we talking about?
What?
She said she was okay with him cheating, but the fact that she knew he had a, like.
Yes, we're talking about, so this lady that they just brought up, the question was, is there ever a point that, you should walk away from your relationship, right, if it's no longer serving you? And so basically this woman, was a plus size woman, ended up losing, I think they said about 100 pounds.
140 pounds.
140 pounds. She had been married, had a baby with her husband. Once she lost the weight, she no longer wanted to be with her husband, but instead of telling her husband that, she cheated on him and she was ready to walk away from the baby, the husband, everything. And so that's what we're kind of talking about. We obviously know she's wrong, but do we feel like her obligation was to tell him, in my opinion, that she was no longer being served and that she wanted to walk away from the relationship?
So you guys know we got Tia. I don't know if she's able to turn on her camera or not.
Not Deja, but she for the streets.
But if you cannot, it is okay. But what do you feel about this, T? How do you feel about this?
Turn on your camera.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, but we can't see you.
We can't see you.
I don't want to. Y'all gotta look at me right now.
Yeah. That's like me trying to do a telehealth session with my client with my camera off.
I'm looking real.
Hey.
Oh, hey, y'all. Like, that really just made me mad because I know someone who's like that, and it was like they were big, and when they got smaller,
ooh, because I know who you talking about.
Attention is just on them, and it's just like,
not Cassie. Sorry, y'all.
And it's really sad because you can tell that the lady in the video, she didn't love herself.
Yeah.
Correct.
So her husband had to suffer off the strength of she didn't love herself, and that's not cool. But like Lauren said, it looks like she got bigger, and unfortunately, this is what her life is gonna be like because she's probably not gonna find no one who's gonna love her like her husband did, huh?
Oh, what were you? I was asking you how her life was gonna be. You're saying you don't think she's ever gonna find love now?
It might not be true love. It might not be. The way a lot of these guys out here is, it might not be true love. You never know. I mean, if she does, she does.
But she admitted too, right? She said like she has a very distorted perception of love, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like with therapy, do you believe that once she goes through like her healing and trying to understand, like who she is as an individual, do you feel like she could potentially find love?
Right.
Possibly. Thank you. Whew.
I don't think so.
No, why not?
Because she's for the streets.
Okay.
Period.
So,
listen, no, I feel it. I feel it.
You gotta
now, when I say she could probably find love, she probably could find somebody that's gonna love her. She might not love them.
Correct.
So you think just either way,
It
her
can
karma
be one-sided.
is flag.
So Stone is
Full
asking, who do y'all know? No, listen, this is the producer asking, not me. But Stone is saying the first letter of the person.
We're not being messy on the show. No.
Oh no.
You messy any other time.
Look.
What are you talking about? Any other time you for the mess. What's the tea? Spill the tea.
Okay. Home.
It starts with the L, but you
Okay.
know.
Okay.
You know.
Okay, there
And
you go.
she's such a poker player, so you can believe it.
I'm
I
sorry,
know
but
it is.
I mean it is what it is. And
But yeah, okay, I got you. So you feel
Yeah.
like she's wrong. She's completely wrong. She's not probably going to find. If she does find someone who loves her, she can be back in the same cycle of not really loving them.
of course.
It's funny because if it was okay, I'm just being honest. I mean, if I had all the women, the choice in the world, she wouldn't be the one I would pick. You know what I'm saying? Like she might have lost weight, so to her she's bad, but she's still a good 6.
Okay, might be a 5.5.
Like, for real. So like I just think realistically what she's expecting and like her expectations of who she can really pull versus what she really looks like is totally off. I personally feel like that. But thank you so much, T. I know you didn't want to turn your camera on. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye, y'all. Hi. Oh, Lee, never mind. I got it.
You
David said
know,
a 5.
I just feel like,
5.
she's just wrong. And I think, again, I feel like for me, it's always going to come back to just communication and relationships. If something is not serving you, people may not agree with it. However, you do have to be in something that is serving you so that you are being respectful and you are feeling your best in whatever you're in. And so
I think it's about commitment, though. I think at some point it's going to be something that's unserving.
I disagree because there are people who make a commitment to stay and stuff for kids, and I don't believe in that.
No, I'm talking about a commitment to each other.
People.
But it has to be mutual. Okay, so I think a commitment, like when you're at the altar, I think it's a mutual commitment. I think if I'm committed to you and you're committed to me, then if you feel like I'm not serving you or something is missing out the relationship, then if you express that to me, it's my job as a man or as a woman to try to fix that problem first. Right? I think that's the commitment. Because I think it's going to be times where if you have a 50-year marriage, I think it's going to be times like, man, this is stupid. Why am I doing this?
True. If the foundation that was laid was solid foundation, they started off on foundation that was never solid. So to be like he should come in and fix something that's not serving her, he can't because he was never that person. She was never with him for anything about him. She got with him to serve herself. She didn't get with him to serve, you know what I mean? Like she was always focused on her.
Correct.
And so I just think that this is unfortunately, and I don't agree with divorce. This is one of them situations I don't feel like this marriage was going to ever result in something.
Regardless if she lost weight or not.
Yeah, I just think that she just would have been in a relationship feeling like this ain't the man for me. Like, you know what I mean? Just upset. She said she dreaded coming home. Who dreads coming home to their family? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't feel that way.
I know a lot of married men that say that too. They dread coming home because their wife is like,
yeah, you're not gonna keep coming at this lady.
She not look like she lost weight. Though, to be honest, if she did, she gained it. She gained. I don't know.
Because you get happy though. Like, you know what I mean? They always, people say that, like that happy weight when you first get into relationships and stuff. I see women.
Relationship with that guy. That guy had a whole wife.
Well, in her mind though, she thought that it was a relationship. So, you know, whether she gained the weight or not, I think again, you know, even if we're talking about mental health and like her weight, she needs to go through some processes. I think all of this is like coming from discipline and, you know, trauma.
Okay.
All together. Move on.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Because I just think I hate the fact that this happened. The narrative is mostly men cheat. And so when you have this woman cheat, it just brings, like Tia said, it kind of makes me angry. You know, I'm not saying that men should cheat or it's okay for men to cheat, but when a woman cheats for this reason, where there's nothing wrong besides you decide to, instead of just being a mature adult and saying, listen, I no longer want to be with you, which I feel like is an okay thing. And you guys can have a conversation about it and figure out the dynamics of what your relationship with the kids and all that stuff will be like afterwards. That's the reason why I don't like it.
Ashley's comment, before we move on, I thought that was pretty interesting, like fun fact, right? She said, they say our mate could be 80% for us, but we will look for the 20% elsewhere. And that 20% person is 80% not for us.
That's Tyler Perry, Ashley. I appreciate it. That's a good
Was
quote.
it?
Yeah, that's definitely Tyler Perry.
Wow.
So that's, I mean, I don't know if it came from Tyler Perry, but that is a quote that most people use. Say for instance, you are 80% of what I'm looking for. However, it's that 20% that's missing. And then I go find a girl who has that.
And she's going to be missing everything else that you have.
So it seems like she has more because she has the 20% that you're missing, but not realizing that she's not even the same percentage.
So what's that phrase? The grass is not greener on the other side. Basically, concept.
Yeah.
It looks green from afar away, right? But when you get there, it's actually not greener.
So I like to. My old pastor used to say, "The grass is not green on the other side. The water bill is just higher." So it might look like it's greener, but there's a lot more going on to it too to make sure the water bill. I thought that was a good one. Anywho,
TD Jakes actually.
Okay.
Big Mimi in the house. Where you been?
Big Mimi in the house. Mimi back. I ain't seen me.
What's the tea, sis?
The tea? We ain't gonna do that to you, Mimi. We ain't gonna do that to you. Jazz, do you want to hop on really quick before we move to the next? I see you're pretty busy in the comment section. Mel, I know you're pretty busy in the comment section. Ashley, I saw you say a couple things too. So if you guys want to hop on, go ahead and text 480-509-8958. Hop on a tea time. Maybe 2 minutes max, and then we're going to hop on to the next question so we can.
One of my high school math teachers is on here, or you were on here. Hey, how's it going?
You going to say the name?
No. Why do I have to say the name?
Okay, you're weird. You got a high school teacher on here?
I'm just saying, guys. Keep it peachy. No, just kidding. Hey, Devin, welcome back. We haven't seen you in a while.
Devin is on here?
Yes.
That's what's up. What are y'all doing? I heard it's raining in Michigan, so maybe what y'all doing? Y'all ain't got nothing to do, so y'all gonna use us. Well, y'all know it's a thunderstorm right now in Michigan.
I think maybe move on to the next one. What's the next topic?
So let's go, Stone. Next topic. Let's see what we got. Stone, take a break. Okay. I'm about to say, should the man be solely responsible for it all?
For all of what?
For it all, financially. Should a man be? So let's before we.
So proud of y'all.
So listen, let's play the clip. The clip that just went viral last week or this week, the week that just passed. Play the clip first, and then that way we can have some stuff to kind of talk about. The reason why we picked this topic.
Continue this marriage. You have to get us a house. You have to buy us a house.
I will have to buy it?
Mm-hmm. So I could say my husband bought me a house.
So you don't want to have no parts in helping me buy the house?
I mean, I'll be on the deed.
How does that work?
Oh, it works every day in marriages.
You've been married before?
In other people's marriages I know about.
Oh.
Their husband bought them a house, a car.
This is what scares me.
Wait, no.
Can we see that part?
Finish the clip, Stone.
Marrying a woman with this mindset. So once she's using the manipulation to say, hey, this is what other men do for their wives and making him, emasculating him. Men, don't fall for that, all right? A true wife is going to say, hey, babe, let's build this thing together. Either we're going to both combine our incomes and build our dream house together, or I'm going to hold down home and I'm going to support you, right, in your dreams. And in return, you can build, your dreams. And that man is going to work hard to get her $1 million home and nice cars because you love me unconditionally. Whether this business works or not, you're still going to be married to me. Now, we all want to be up, but if I'm down, you're going to understand that comes with it, and you're going to build me up so I can say I got my success because of you, not being manipulated by you. Men bypass this type of woman. Keep it moving. You can do better.
I'll let you go first, Krista, because I'm always...
Someone said, now share that Steve Harvey clip.
What's Steve Harvey
Stone,
clip?
go find Steve Harvey's clip, please.
Just say something that says on there. We're going to try to see if we can find it. Let me see. Stone just talking to me in the back. I'll grab it.
He'll grab it.
So
okay.
let us know what you're talking about.
So I'm going to say this, right? And don't stone me because I can already feel it. I don't think that there is anything wrong if I am a stay-at-home mom and I'm holding down the house for my husband to go out and work and build us a house. Now, if that was not the agreement and they are both workers and she is contributing to the household financially, or she has finances, then they both need issues for the streets.
Thank you.
They both, I mean, how can she contribute though if she's a stay-at-home wife?
But clearly she's not, because he asked her for help.
Well, that's why I gave my butt.
So don't butt it. Just talk about the clip in itself.
Okay, the clip. She's wrong. I think though, like I wouldn't ask you to pay for a house and I'm not contributing.
And the reason why she said
because I want to say she lost them. If she would have had a different excuse.
What excuse can you have for somebody buying you a house? Why do you feel like you deserve what you didn't work for? Like, what is your problem? I think the women's ideology of or expectations of actually getting something you did not work for. Why would I do that? Well, that makes no sense. Nobody else in the world is going to go to the Ferrari lot and expect somebody to give them a Ferrari because of who they are. And they don't have to pay for the Ferrari.
And then it was, I think the biggest part is that you said, I just want to be able to say,
she's not wrong. She just need a man about her. I get it. Again, why do you feel like you deserve something you didn't work for? She didn't work for a house.
Who said that? Who was that? I don't know. I just
she treated me like a king, and she said,
you had nothing.
I had nothing. She even made me a poster, said "True King," put it next to a line, and while we was in Section 8, I'm like, oh, okay, you serious? You know? And I said, yo, I got us. Let me lead. You know, I told her, I said, don't even work. This is after I lost Skechers. This is why I'm only having my one little job. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to do it all.
Yeah.
But that's just me though, you know? That's why I came with the whole thing that was like super controversial on social media about men need to pay all the bills. It bring a different beast out of you. You know? And we were just boyfriend and girlfriend at that time. They ain't my wife or nothing, but I believe in that because I'm like, yo, it brings something out of a man to step into that position of taking care of more responsibility. And plus, if you actually plan on being with a girl for a long period of time or marrying or whatever the case is, you want to make sure you ain't with no roommate. You know what I mean? Like you don't want 50-50.
Yeah.
You want that respect.
No. So first of all, that's very controversial, right? I think the first controversial part about that is that in other cultures, other races, that does happen, right?
What?
Where the man is the sole provider of the household.
Except in America.
Correct. But you heard what he said. He said, once she told me that she respected me and treated me like a king, I then told her, don't worry about it, I got it. I think the problem we have a lot of times is we don't respect a man. We don't do that to a man. And then when something happens, as far as you're expecting him to now provide and to lead, he doesn't want to do it because you can't gain respect of a person. Once you lose respect, you can't gain respect of a person.
So like in this clip where she emasculated or manipulated him, you feel like now it kind of takes it off the table and he doesn't want to give her the house or build the house for her.
The other one is she basically saying, man, she lifted me up when I didn't have nothing. She treated me like a king when I didn't have anything. And now I want to give her the world. The women who ask for nothing get everything. And the women who ask for everything get nothing. It's really that simple. And I stand by that. It's really that simple. You ask for everything, you get nothing.
Is that true though?
I do.
Because I see a lot of women, when you even think about like what we see on social media, a lot of women that have these requirements and expectations of men, they get it. The things that they want. Maybe their expectation is not a ring. Because I see a lot of women who don't necessarily care about having a marriage. They care about materialistic things. Or they front and say, because I'm not going to say every woman does at some point, I feel like wants to be in some type of committed something.
90% of women want to get married and bear a child.
Can we say that some women are able to make that become a secondary for them though, as long as like they can tolerate just getting finances and material things for a while?
I don't think it's secondary. I think it's just what they can get. I think if you're
they're selling their soul for it, but
I think if you're a promiscuous woman and you realize I can do certain things to get certain assets or whatever it is, luxury items, they know that most men won't take them serious, right? So I think that their idea of marriage and children that hasn't gone anywhere, they just realize it's not a real reality that they can probably obtain in the lifestyle that they want as well. So I think they're choosing, okay,
the finances, because there are some women who are like, hey, I don't care how much money you have, if you're not going to make me a wife, if you're not going to respect me and be loyal to me, then you can go. But I think that there are a pretty good portion of women that we are seeing surfacing, right, that might be okay. Some
and I
women
think that's
that
why y'all
would be
get dogged
okay.
out. I ain't trying to be funny. I think that's why, because we realize that this money that I'm tricking off, right? Because if I'm doing it most of the time, men are doing it who can afford it. Right? If I got a few $1 million and I spend $5,000 to go send you to the DR to go get whatever, that's not going to change, make or break me. And I know I can treat you like whatever, and you're going to be here. So I'm paying for you. You know what I mean? So I think it happens, but I think that again, you won't get what you're really trying to obtain. If you can't stone that, there's something about I know Jason said something about Samuel.
I don't think we want to see all that. I think we saw enough clips. Okay. If she asked me for a Birkin bag, get out my house.
Come on, Devin, get online. Hop online, Devin. Stop playing, bro. Cause I don't know, you ain't never hopped online, man.
He said, get out my house altogether.
They're getting it, but they are still selling their souls for it. Yeah, for sure.
I think you have some women though too that just don't really care. They're like, run me the coin, sir. They're like, give me the Birkin bag, sir.
And I agree with that.
Which is, I'm not saying it's okay, but not justifying either way. But I think just kind of going back to what we were talking about, I don't believe that you have to pay for everything while you're dating. I also don't believe that you have to pay for everything while you're married, because sometimes as a woman, it does feel good to go in and like do things for your guy too. Like I feel
what?
like.
Talk to me. I'm just trying to understand. What? Take this off. Hold on, wait a minute. Let's go ahead and take this off. So what? Like what? Just give the word examples of what does it feel like?
You're so annoying. But, I think it feels good. I do feel like, again, I kind of always just go by the rule book. I kind of feel like, even is even, and not that you should look in a marriage or relationship as even Stevens, because I know Michelle Obama, right? Like nothing's ever going to be 50-50. So I get that. But for me, I feel like if a woman is staying at home and she's taking care of a house and she's raising kids, which is a huge job in itself, then I feel like the man does need to be the provider for everything, right? Because she made a commitment, or you guys made a commitment together that this was important for her to stay home for A, B, and C, whatever reason you decided, or if the man is staying home, right? Because some women on our previous show said that they're okay with being a financial provider. So you should, if the man is taking care of everything else, or if the woman is, right? However, if both parties work,
should be doing something. I'm just sorry. Like even if I was staying home, even though it would be hard to.
No, we're gonna backtrack on some of these episodes. What are you saying?
I'm saying I think we should do. I think you should do more. Because definitely, if you're able to stay home.
Now, when I said that a man should be doing more, and
if you stay home,
yeah, you didn't agree with that?
What are you talking about, man? Why are you talking like that?
Because I'm trying to figure out where you're going with this.
I'm already there. I'm out the car. I parked it. What are you talking about? Okay. I have no clue what she's talking about. But I'm saying if anybody is stay at home, whether it's a stay at home husband or a stay at home wife, not saying that it's not hard or difficult. I still feel like, because if I decide to let you stay at home, I mean financially, then I'm also providing help from other people to help you out as well, right? So like someone to come in and clean. Someone to come in and nanny, right? Maybe daycare, right? To give you a break, or some type of cook.
Not for like a traditional family. I think when you think about like people who are a little bit more wealthier, they kind of bring in help. But I think for the average middle class family, stay at home mom, I don't think they're bringing in people. I think that they're just taking care of everything on their own.
But I think those people are realistic too about expectations, because middle class is saying anywhere from $45,000 to $75,000, and you're okay with that lifestyle. I think the problem is most people are saying, like you said, a measly $100,000 ain't go change.
I wasn't saying that.
But we ride a clip. We ride a clip, though.
I didn't say that $100,000 was measly.
Yeah, but I'm just saying though. So I think that has a lot to do with that. Person who stays at home, that's their full-time job, and the person who's working should provide unless they mutually
That's
agree
how
with.
I look at it. I feel like,
I
because
don't.
I just think that clean, and I'm not saying, so if let's use Lawrence and I, right? If I were to decide, because he just said if he were to decide, I could stay home, right? If I were to decide that I wanted to stay at home, right, it wouldn't really make sense because it's just he and I in here, right? So how much am I really having to do? Because once I clean the house, like we're adults, like we can pretty much maintain it for a good week, you know, before I need to do a next cleaning. If I have children, that is completely different. I see some of you individuals on here who have kids, and it's like as soon as you guys clean up, you're cleaning up the next thing because something else is down. So I think when you add kids into it is where it changes for me. I think if it's just us single living, then I could agree with you, that maybe I
so
need
for
to do
18 years, I think it might be hard around like between like 2 or like walking ages up to maybe 3, 4, right? Unless
I think
you're
even
homeschooling.
before that, because you have to think, right? You're sleeping, the wife's or the woman's sleeping schedule and stuff is different. So usually you'll see like, you know, diapers
But
and
you
milk
ain't getting up
bottles
for
and
work. You can sleep whenever you want to. Whenever the baby
well,
is
not
asleep.
with I know, but that's still really hard on you. You know what I mean? Because
Why?
babies are waking up every how often, like
But the baby, in the first couple of months of it, the baby sleeps majority of the day. They wake up to eat and feed.
for how long? Can we get fact checks on here? Because we don't have kids,
I'm pretty
so we're
sure.
trying to spit
No,
out
I'm
stuff
pretty
when
sure
we
it's
don't
like
know.
15 to 18 hours a day a baby is actually sleeping when a baby is a newborn. So
Lawrence just learned that because I looked up for the dog yesterday. You talking about because of Tink? I mean, what's the
you see, I don't know the dog.
Mink? My mom got a new dog. I can honestly say that I do not like for men to pay for things for me if we're dating. I like to contribute things, but I have been on companionship dates where I don't pay for anything, and that's okay. I can agree with that. I'm not gonna say I don't want them to
It's
pay
not
for.
working. I'm only when it's working. I deserve to keep whatever I want to. What's your opinion on that?
But can we go back to Jazz really quick? You're saying that when you're dating them, you don't like for them to pay for anything? Because I feel different. Because how do you feel? Jazz wasn't on here with our first couple of episodes when we talked about going out. Like, you know, do you feel like the guy should pay for the first date if you don't really like for them to pay for anything? Or you're like, we both need to split it? Or are you paying for it?
That's a good question. And then let's while you're typing, Jazz, let's look at Devin's. Gabrielle Union said he said this, so I'm not sure if Gabrielle Union said it.
He said Gabrielle Union.
said,
Who is she really?
Said, if I'm in a relationship with a man that's not working and I'm the only one that's working, then I deserve to keep whatever I want to. So
Devin, come on.
So that's a good question though. So if I am working and I'm providing for the household, at that point, am I allowed to dictate how the money flows? 100%?
I guess essentially because you are making the money, absolutely.
Yes.
I don't want to be with a man that is that selfish.
Next question.
Though.
Next question. That's all I want to know. Yes. Yeah, we got that.
Well, it's not what I say, right? However, I'm just telling you, for me, I wouldn't be with a man that was trying to dictate something. Anytime a man is trying to dictate anything, that is a huge red flag for me. That
anytime a woman want to be lazy and not lazy. That's a huge red flag.
Why do you think taking care of kids?
Look at me, guys. Look at me. Put everything in your mama name.
Why do you think taking care of kids is not a job?
I know. No. I'm not. I'm saying
that's scary. You're saying who's lazy?
I know. I think it is a job. However, I think me working 10, 12 hours a day doing some stuff I don't want to do, talking to people I don't want to talk to.
Choose a different career that you like.
I know, but realistically, most of the jobs that are high income earning, right? Like I can go be a teacher and go, but I wouldn't make any money. I can go and volunteer at the community centers, but I wouldn't make any money.
So wherever you are though, right? And that's why we all have choices to try to pick our career paths, because even if you're not making a ton of money, you need to go in a career where you don't have to feel like work is work. Because for me, right, with my career choice, it can be tiring, right? Because it's a lot of trauma dumping, right? Or I usually have issues with the corporations, not my job in itself. So you pick things that make you happy. That's a decision.
So would you rather work a 14-hour shift, what you're doing now? So I know you only work probably like 6, 7 hours a day, or 6, 7 hours, 7 clients a day, right? 8 clients a day. Would you rather work a 12-hour shift, or do 12 hours, or stay at home with your kid who you raise I think most people pick, I will stay at home in my comfort of my
You
own
want me to
home.
be honest with you?
Yeah.
I'm going to work for 200, Alex. I'm being honest. Now, the first 2 years of development for my child, I want to be completely hands-on with that, right? Because I think that there are a lot of milestones that you miss
I want
in that
somebody else to
time.
come in.
I don't want to be a stay-at-home mom.
509-8958.
I'm sorry, it is not for me.
Text T-Town. I want somebody else to kind of come in.
It's not for me. Can you agree that you believe, though, that that's not for me, Lawrence? I don't
Why?
like sitting and cleaning and cooking and doing. I just don't. I'd rather be active
She ain't
and doing
domesticated.
things to
I
make
gotta
money.
break her.
Call it how what you want. I'd rather be making money
Yeah,
and
with
us
just
trying
the
to
two,
propel ourselves.
You may be making it comfortable for him to do what he does professionally but not working. What do you mean
Okay,
by that?
Mel.
What do you
I
mean?
feel like you just kind of empowering me right now. I don't know, but
Even with
I'ma go with
just
it.
the two of you, you may be making it comfortable for him to do what he does professionally by not working.
she's saying that even
Even if
though
you
we
don't
don't
go to
have
work?
kids, I could still be having a taxing job by taking care of this house for us to make it comfortable for you. I agree.
Okay. I'm like, that's not what's going on, y'all. That's not what's going on.
It's not because I work.
Babies wake up every 2 hours.
Thank you for that.
So that means you got 12 hours of sleep. So you ain't fooling me. I know how to do math. What are you talking about? They wake up
But
every 2
isn't
hours.
there like more into prepping? You know what I mean? Like,
Okay, so let's do 2 hours of prep.
so you're saying mothers are fully rested, basically?
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying it's not as hard as.
Okay.
I'm just being honest. I think there's worse. You think a miner who's down 3 miles below the surface where he can't
I
breathe.
understand that, but that's
So
not
that's
what-
all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That there are jobs out there that are very hard. So to compare that to a job, it's not a job.
So we'll take you, for example. We're going to use us because I always
Okay.
like to bring it back to us, right?
Yeah.
Your career choice
Uh-huh.
is taxing. I understand that, right? However, if I had a kid, I believe that I would be just as tired as you. If I was staying home and taking care of that kid.
I get it. I'm not about who's tired, who's more comfortable though. I think it's about a comfortability situation.
Like,
so I'm not saying that it doesn't require work. So I don't want you guys to. I'm not
who is that talking about you don't cook for your husband, Crystal?
She don't, y'all. Send some help. Send some meal preps. I'm just joking. No,
That's a joke. First off, I'm like the meal prep queen.
I'd rather go to work, a job, than to stay at home. Staying at home with children is more stressful.
Said I don't like to cook and clean. I can very much well.
Why
do
is
it.
who is that? Can you figure out who that is who said that?
That's Sierra. She said Sierra.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you feel like that? Why do you feel like staying at home is more
Oh
stressful?
wait, I've been at home. That's not Sierra. I don't think she's her kid's not.
And his mom worked.
That might be Bree.
And it's more. I'm guessing that person is saying it's more work than actually working a job.
Somebody said that's super controlling. It is. I'm sorry. If a man is telling you because I make the money, I get to choose wherever the money goes and how it's allocated, that's control. Run away. But I think that's
Or you
Bree.
can make your money. Where you don't have to worry about it.
Oh.
Sierra.
Sierra, your kid is 8? She's not 8. Or were you just saying, did you help take care of someone else's kids? I want whoever put that, though, to come on and tell. Like, we need real life experiences or, like real life dialogue about why it's harder because we don't have kids. So you're assuming and I'm assuming, right? Based on just our experiences with helping out with other kids in our family. We don't know what it's like to be raising a kid, let alone multiple kids, right? So do you think it changes if a person has one kid versus multiple kids? Do you feel like
I do, but I feel like that's your fault.
We're not talking about whose fault it is.
I know. So if you feel like the first one was hard, then you shouldn't have a second one.
So what if your husband really wants to have one? Because according to you, got to listen to him.
I understand that. Then you need to have a dialogue with your husband and say, I need some help. So hire me a nanny or hire me some help at the house.
But if you guys are working class, then how?
Then something has to give.
So what gives?
So if that is the case, and your husband says I still want one.
Oh, it was Sierra. She said 5 years. So what? If you could share, Sierra, if you don't feel like coming on, what are some things, or even you, Deja, like talk about what that looks like? Like, why do you feel like it is equivalent to someone who's working a full-time 9-to-5 job? Not mining. We're just saying a typical job. Why do you feel like it might be equivalent to that? Because I feel like personally, what I've seen with my friends and my family members who are parents, it looks like hard work. And I work with kids for a living, and it's hard. You hear what I deal with, right? So I'm only
those
with
kids
these
are really
kids.
stay-at-home kid parents.
I mean, the first 4 or 5 years, you got to stay at home with your parent. Where are you going? You might go. I think they can possibly go to daycare
Who
for
do you
a few
know?
hours.
I know, but who do you know this? I know, but
And I'm gonna just be honest. The people that I know don't even really have their kids all day because their kids are in schools or daycares,
correct.
and they're
So
still
how hard
stressed out.
I know, but who fault is that they're stressed out?
Whereas I think it's just what comes along with being a parent. I think
I
it's
get
a
it.
taxing job.
I know it's taxing, but like you're complaining about something you made.
You don't get any days off. You don't get any sick time. You don't get any sick days.
I know, but you knew that. Why would you complain about something? I know. So my thing is this, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I wanted to gain weight, right, I'm not going to make it a sad story, and I'm not going to complain about how heavy the weights are. If I know that's the only way to gain weight, if I know I had to have a kid, I'm not going to complain about raising a kid because I chose to have the kid.
I think you're missing, though, the discussion point here. It's not that you shouldn't complain or whether someone's right or wrong about complaining. The point of the matter is you're saying that being a stay-at-home parent is not as taxing as someone who's working a job. We're just making a point to say that it's the same.
Exactly. That it's the same. That's what I'm saying. It is the same.
So why do you feel like because you get to make the money, you get to call the shots? Because that was the comment. If you're making all the money.
Because I'm making the money. Just like with the kids, if you're at home and you're saying, I think the kid needs to do this, then you're going to take the lead in that because you're spending most of the time. You would know what to do with that. I'm just being honest.
That's not how this
You wouldn't call me every time and say, okay, listen, I want to get the baby a popsicle. Is that okay? No, you're not.
No,
you're going to make a
decision.
decision.
We were making decisions about the kid, whether or not we feel like they need a vaccine or they need this or they need that. You're not going to let that person make the controlling fact or decision because they stay at home. You are going to want to be a part
just like
of that.
I wouldn't go out and buy a car without that's different, right? That's
but
a big
I think
decision.
we have to like figure out the lines of that, right? Because I think whether you make your own money or I make my own, just for example, right? I make my own money, you make your own money, right? But we are a partnership. So when I just asked you about the Usher concert, right? I could just go buy my tickets and go, right? But it is a joint partnership. So I think going out and buying a car when you're making big expenses, I think, yeah, y'all need to be discussing that. But if she needs to run to the grocery store and make this purchase or do this, I don't think that she should be calling you asking for money or asking you if it's okay if I go to the grocery store, even though I already went 2 days ago. I think that that's where it gets controlling.
I don't know. I just feel like that's kind of like irresponsible to use somebody's money that you.
Lauren, shut up.
I think that's
like I don't even mean to say that. Okay, because what?
I just think I think that's real. Like you wouldn't go into your mama purse. You wouldn't go into your mama purse and just take some money and be like, well, I mean, you're my mama, so I'm gonna just take it. Like you wouldn't do that because you didn't make the money.
Mel said you can leave work, you cannot leave that family. Unlike the last lady we just saw.
You can.
I don't think it's a complaint. It's just facts. Exactly. I don't think we're saying it's a complaint. We're just saying that it is the equivalent. So if you feel like you want to be the person to stay at home, I think that's how it should come down to. The husband and wife have to decide, who do we feel like should stay home? Who do we feel like should go to work? Most times they're going to make the decision about someone working based on who makes the most financially. Because if I'm making less money than you, I can't stay.
I'm okay with living in the box.
Be quiet. I'm 33. I have a 17-year-old. F these kids.
Yeah,
LOL. That's why I had my kids when I was young. I'm sorry for saying. Huh? Okay. There are so many things in that comment that I want to go into, but I think we need another episode. Huh?
Well, listen, guys. We're going to wrap it up. We appreciate you guys hopping on. Raising a kid is more
We're going to
stressful
pin
than
Devin's comment because we're going to find a way to cycle back to that and like process through all of that.
Okay. Let's read this last couple comments coming in. Raising a kid is more stressful to me than working a job because of the job you get a break. get to go interact with other adults. And you can do that with a kid too. When a kid is asleep, what do you do?
How are you gonna leave the kid at home?
At work, you get a break.
You can step out and leave. I used to leave all the time. You leave from your job. You know what I'm saying? You can't leave the kid. That's even like, right, my mom got this new dog, and this is not even a kid. We were trying to figure out schedules for this week of like who can be with the dog because she can't be left alone for 8 hours. You can't, it's not the same. It's not. And I know you want to try to make it the same, but it's not, buddy.
I'm sorry.
I hope that when you have a kid, that you don't get your karma back from all of these comments.
I ain't trying to be funny. Well, I would love to be with my kid. I know it's going to be tough. I know it's going to be hard. I understand that. But I would not be dreading.
No one's saying dreading. We're just saying that it's a job.
They are.
We're just saying no.
But why, again, though, you said, why would you pick a career that you don't love where it feels like you're working? It wouldn't be a job. It's your passion. Why would you have kids if you feel like it's a job?
That's why probably some people don't have kids. Some people don't.
I'm sorry, y'all, because maybe I can make this make sense. It ain't making no sense to me.
It was good, y'all. We appreciate y'all for tapping in. That was funny.
Yeah, appreciate you guys again next week. We're trying to do something special. I don't want to promise you guys anything in particular, but we're trying to do something kind of crazy, kind of bending some lines. So we're trying to see if we can pull it off for you guys.
We were planning to do it this week. I'm going to take accountability and say it was my fault, right?
It wasn't your fault.
Okay, well, you know, kind of, but we do have something very interesting. So I'm going to ask all, you know, how many ever of us it is on here, it looks like about maybe 20. If we could all please make sure we tap in next week. And if you could please share it, I'm going to post some stuff onto like the social media pages to kind of get it promoted up. But I think it's going to kind of blow y'all away because I am so excited for it. It does get a little messy, but not like, you know.
It's a new perspective I don't think has ever been seen before, ever.
Yeah.
In the history of television, podcasts, and
it's really good. I wish it could have been pulled.
We're working on some stuff, guys, so just bear with us. Hopefully next week. If not, it will be the week after. But
we'll keep y'all posted either way, so y'all know. But please, like, tap in.
We're working on something, y'all. We don't want y'all to think that, you know, I understand that some of these topics may sound a little bit redundant, but we're trying to work on something way, way bigger. Okay, so just stay with us. It's going to get the girls going. Okay. Just saying, I'm excited for it.
Me and Stone, like, honestly, on our little 3-way call, me and Stone were like, I'm like, Stone is coming on and doing it. We want to say rest in peace to Jerry Springer. We do want to just get on there and say that I feel like your childhood wasn't really lit if you didn't grow up kind of watching Jerry and reenacting that. As trauma-filled and, like, you know, inappropriate as that is, I feel like it was, but we're gonna do Jerry right next week. This one's for Jerry. See, that's why I need Stone, because his energy with it.
Okay.
We're bringing Stone on. Lawrence is gonna be behind the scenes. We're bringing Stone in.
It'll be TLC. So hopefully next week, but if not, then we're gonna have something for y'all very, very soon. So just bear with us and stay with us. Thank you guys again for hopping on.
Absolutely.
Another successful episode. We got out pretty early too as well today. So you guys go ahead and enjoy the rest of the day. See you guys next week with TLC. Peace, love, and
T by Jerry.